Good afternoon, flipped class. Today we're going to be talking about rates, 6.2. So if you'll go to your table of contents and write 6.2 rates and page 29 and 30. It should be at the top. I forgot to write that on this piece of paper, but please do that and then you can turn the tape back on. All right, the first thing I want you to do, we need to define what a rate is. And a rate is a comparison of two qualities that have different units. Okay? So for instance, and this is when you'll see a lot, miles per hour, that's a rate. That's how fast you're going. So Chris drove 107 miles in 2 hours. Okay, so to write that as a rate, you would do, let me get my pen ready here. 107. Oh, 1 second. Clicked the wrong one. Okay. 107. Okay. You drove 107 miles in 2 hours. Okay. And that's the rate. And notice miles and hours are different. Okay, so it's not the same thing there. Okay, another example, the cost of 3 candles is $19.50. So the rate would be $19.50 for 3 candles. Okay, that's another rate. All right. Okay, let's move on to box number 2. Okay, now we're going to be calculating unit rates. And a unit rate is a rate in which the second quantity is 1 unit. So please write that definition down in box number 2. And now we're going to do an example. If Gerald paid $90 for 6 yoga classes, how much is it per class? So we're going to write a rate. We're going to do oops, let me get my pen. $90 per 6 classes. Okay, this little line right here, it also means per. So you can read it going down, $90 per 6 classes. Okay, so we want to find out how much one class is. So we're going to do an equivalent rate, and that where it will be 1 class. Okay, now remember, whatever we do to the 6, you also have to do to the 90. Okay, so in order to go from 6 to 1 class, we divided by 6. So now we have to do the same thing here, and it will give us our answer over here. So we'll do divided by 6. And 90 divided by 6 is $15. And so it's $15 per, remember this means per class. All right? Okay, we're going to do some more in a little bit, but that's how to calculate a unit rate. Okay, now we're going to do an example with problem solving. And so the question is, at camp, the campers are divided into groups. Each group has 16 campers and 2 cabins. How many cabins are needed for 112 campers? Well, this is what the teachers do every October when we're trying to get you guys into rooms. So, okay, so we have 16 campers per, remember that this line means per 2 cabins. So we need to figure out how many is in each cabin. Okay, so 1 cabin. In order to get 1 cabin, we divided by 2. So that's what we'll do here. This is easy peasy one. Divided by 2, 16 divided by 2 is 8 campers. Okay, so now we have 8 campers in one cabin, but that's not what we need. We have to take another step. How many cabins are needed for 112 students? So then we're going to take 112 and we're going to divide it by the number of campers, which is 8. 112 divided by 8 means we're going to need 14 cabins. Okay, now remember when we're doing word problems, sometimes they are two-step. So you have to really go back and reread the question. What exactly is it asking? It wasn't asking me how many campers in a cabin. It was asking me how many cabins are needed if we have 112 campers. So that's why we had to do 2 steps. All right, let's move on to box number 4. Okay, we're going to calculate the rate on these 2 items. All right, so we have the first one. It's $5.50 for 2 cartons of, I don't know, hot tamales. I love hot tamales. Those are really expensive hot tamales, though. $5.50. And we need to calculate the unit rate, which means the second number needs to be 1. So, over here, I'm going to draw my line. 1 carton. Well, what do we have to do to... Sorry, my writing is not very good right there. What do we have to do to the 2 to get over to 1? We had to divide by 2. So that's exactly what we're going to do on the top, because you have to do the exact same thing. Divide by 2. Okay? And when you divide 550 by 2, you get 274. Sorry, something just popped up on my screen. Okay. 275. Okay? So it's 275 per carton, remember? That line means per. I'm going to keep saying that to you, remember. Okay? 275 per carton. All right? Our next one is 20 miles per minute, per 50 minutes. Okay? So, how far can we go in 1 minute? We need the unit rate. How far are we going per minute? Okay, so to do this, we had to divide by 50. So we had to do the same thing up here. Divided by 50. And when you take 20 divided by 50, you get 0.4 miles per minute. Okay, so those are the unit rates. Okay, remember a unit is 1. All right, now our next example. There's 156 players on 13 teams. How many players on each team? Okay, so we're going to set up our problem. It's 156 players on each team. So that would be 1 team. Oh, sorry. I misread the problem. Mrs. Rash. Going too fast. Okay. 156 players for 13 teams. Okay. We need to find the unit rate. How many players on each team? So, on 1 team. Okay, if you want, you can pause the tape and pause the lesson and then try it on your own. That would be a really great idea. Okay, so to get from 13 to 1 team, we divided by 13. So we're going to have to do the same here. Divide by 13. When you divide 156 by 13, you come up with exactly 12 players. So the answer will be 12 players are on each team. Okay, and you can write all that out. I'm not going to take the time to do that. All right? Okay, last one coming up. All right, so our last one is a two-parter. All right, so Petra jogs 3 miles in 27 minutes. Find the unit rate in minutes per mile. And that's it, okay? All right, so we're going to do minutes per mile, which means that the minutes is going to have to be on top, even though they said it in reverse order. Now remember, they like to trick you. So they listed the 3 first, but you know that it's minutes per mile. So you have to do minutes per mile. Okay? For some reason it's not taking my... Okay, well, we're going to just deal with it right there. Okay, so 27 minutes per 3 miles. So we need to find the unit rate, which would be 1 mile. So we're going to divide by 3. You get the idea. Divide by 3, and we get 9 minutes per, remember that means per mile. All right. So that's our unit rate. She's running a 9-minute mile. Okay. Second part of this question is, how long would it take to jog 5 miles? Okay. Well, in our head, we could just do 9 times 5 is 45. But let me show you how to do it as a rate, because you might run into this problem later on with numbers you can't just do in your head. So we have 9 minutes per 1 mile. How long would it take to go 5 miles? Okay, so now here, how do we get from 1 to 5? We multiplied by 5. So, same thing here. We multiply by 5, and we get 45 minutes it would take her to run 5 miles. Okay? All right, there you go. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.